I'm CWO4 Victor Pinion, U.S. Navy retired, telling some stories of my naval career. This is part two of an attitude point paper that I wrote many years ago. I've already told you about applying a numerical factor to letters of the alphabet and to the transit line crew, crash crew, runway support crew of Naval Air Station Moffett Field, where I was the officer in charge of. It was the worst outfit on the base when I first took charge. And 3 months later, it was recognized as the best outfit on the base. We'd gotten lots of allocations from transit aircraft crews and so forth. What exactly did I do? What it was I paid attention to that crew and their duties and their difficulties. And I got personally involved in every one of them. Like I told you about the aircraft boarding ladder and how the maintenance of it had been being gapped off by the Aviation Intermediate Maintenance Department's Ground Support Equipment Division for years, and how I got them involved and got their attention to where they overhauled all of our ground support equipment back to like new condition. They replaced all tires, they replaced reupholstered seats, they repaired parking brakes that formerly didn't work, they even repainted it and replaced lights and so forth to make it like new. They paid attention to us because I paid attention to everything that affected my crew. I told about establishing a training and qualification setup for everything that we did. I made up a status board of that with every man's name, everything that he was qualified to do, and if he wasn't, I had a slash across there when he was scheduled to begin and finish the qualification process to do that thing, whatever it was. And we had a lot of things that we did. Well, because they had taken 12 aviation boatswain mate petty officers from the crash crew and put them in the line crew, that undermanned the crash crew. And they needed 3 or 4 men more than what they had in the crash crew every day because we'd taken them out of the crash crew. Well, they had gone to the captain about that, and the captain had authorized them to take 3 or 4 men from the transit line crew every day. And they'd been doing that for over a year at the time I reported aboard. But now they weren't using them for professional firefighter duties. They were using them as flunkies. They used them to clean the apparatus, clean the firehouse, and so forth. And that freed up the other firefighters to actually man the equipment and do the firefighting duties. Well, that affected these people's morale. Their morale was the bottom at the time I took charge. I would talk with the crash crew chief about this and with the fire chief about it. They were had lost confidence in the skill level of these sailors, second class aviation boatswain mates, because they didn't have them in their crew all the time and they didn't benefit from the training. I understood that and I sympathized with it. I said, well, look, these are professional aviation boatswain mates. They're professional firefighters aboard aircraft carriers, and there are no civilians on there. And I need those men to do other duties at the line shack. They can man a crash truck and we can respond to every emergency right from the line shack. Absolutely not. So I requested captain's mast with that, and took the station fire chief and the crash chief to captain's mast over that issue. And they had all kinds of rationale. They were professional men, and I sympathized with them, and I told the captain that. But we're in an unusual undermanned situation. The fire chief wants to hire more civilians. Well, there was a DOD hiring freeze on. He couldn't. The captain agreed with me and directed the fire chief to give me a crash truck. And we would man it with sailors and respond to emergencies from the line shack, which is the same proximity to the runways as the firehouse was. Well, we did that. Man, that affected this crew's morale dramatically, and it freed them up to do other duties. Also, one day, we were scheduled for a routine command-wide captain's inspection. I did the pre-inspection of my crew, and there was 2 second-class players that needed haircuts pretty bad, and I told them about it. Y'all get your hair cut. Oh, bosun, I said, get your hair cut. You show up at quarters at inspection with a fresh haircut. Oh, yeah. I said, look, the Navy Exchange barbershop's right over there, a couple of blocks. We don't like the barbershop. You get bad haircuts. I said, I don't care where you get your haircut. Just show up with a good haircut. A couple of hours later, they showed up. Man, their hair had been butchered, gapped up all over the place. It was horrible. I said, what you got to do, cut each other's hair? No, we went to the barbershop like you told us, bosun. I said, no, come on. You're going back to the barbershop with me right now. You're going to point out the barber that did this. And they did. Well, it was a really bad, drunk, alcoholic, hungover barber shaking roomy, watery-eyed flakes on his shoulders. He should not have been cutting hair. And I went off, and who's the foreman of the barbershop? And I said, what is that man doing here cutting hair? Well, we got to have barbers. Yeah, okay. Well, I don't want him here cutting hair. Well, who are you? I'm the bosun. Look at these men's haircut. Well, I can straighten that up a little bit. I said, I went to the Navy Exchange officer's office, who didn't happen to be in. The next morning, I pointed him out to the captain. Captain says, oh, what you do? He grilled me on it a little bit. Says, you be at my office right after inspection. I'll have the exchange officer there. And we're going to that barbershop. We did. When we went into that barbershop, here's that same alcoholic barber still cutting, had a man in his chair right then cutting hair. I went off on him and on the barbershop foreman. The captain said, bosun, I've got it. I'll take care of it. Well, that barber left the barbershop that day, and I never saw him in there again. I don't know how they handled it, but he no longer cut hair in that barbershop. I don't know where he went, what he did. But my crew took note of that. The bosun will stick up for us. I can't overemphasize how important it is for your crew to know that you will support them. That is leadership. This is end of part 2. Y'all carry on.